According to the Environmental Protection Agency, 40% of our lakes, rivers, and streams are not safe to fish or swim in due to water pollution. Society should actively look to prevent water pollution because of all of the negative effects it has on humans as well as the environment. So today I'm going to be talking about the dangers of water pollution, what causes water pollution, and how everyone can help keep our waters clean. And when we think about water pollution, most of the time people think about trash that is dumped into water and how it can kill animals that live in the water. But it's important to understand that water pollution has very negative effects on humans, and it has very negative effects both directly and indirectly. Now, directly, some of the effects are if we drink polluted water or if we drink chemicals that are in water, we know that it's going to have bad effects on our bodies. Now, indirectly, we start to think about our animals. And according to Kimberly Amadeo, in her article, Water Pollution Economic Effects, posted to thebalance.com in 2019, untreated sewage kills 2.2 million people each year worldwide from diarrheal diseases. And this is more of the direct effect of water pollution and how it is bad for humans. You drink sewage that hasn't been treated, it can kill you. And again, more indirectly, we think about the food that we eat. Most of the food that we eat comes from animals that live or drink water. And in this, you have to think about animals that consume polluted materials. And it's just like how the food chain works. When polluted material is consumed by a smaller animal, a bigger animal is going to eat that, and then a bigger animal is going to eat that, and then we're going to eat the biggest animal. But those nutrients stay with whatever is eaten, and it flows all the way up the food chain. And this can have really negative effects on us eventually, but it's not going to be direct. So Enviropol.com, in their article, Effects of Water Pollution, posted in 2018, state that people contract diseases like hepatitis and cholera by eating seafood that has been poisoned by pollution. And this is a big example of how eventually through the food chain we will be affected. And it's important to understand that humans are the ones that are being affected by water pollution, and it's not just animals. So now we start to get into the causes of these pollution. What's causing this? Now there's four main big sources of water pollution. The first one is plastic, then you have oil spills, you have agriculture, and you have in industries and manufacturers. And with plastic is a very non-healthy, not digestible thing that animals nor humans can eat. And when this gets put into water and it's dumped into water, sometimes animals can't, decipher what's what and they consume it. Plastic also clogs up fish's gills and it prevents them from breathing. Globewater.org states in their article, Water Pollution Statistics in 2018 and 2019, humans are responsible for dumping 14 billion pounds of plastics into the ocean each year. This is a huge number. And now it's not surprising that we hear that many fish die due to having rings around their neck, or sea turtles from having plastic rings around their neck, when 14 billion pounds of it is dumped into the ocean every single year. This is something that humans, both if you're on the beach, throwing plastic into the water, that's something you can prevent, as well as some bigger companies are guilty of doing this. Now with oil spills happen, and it's something that industries and companies can work to prevent, but at the end of the day, it's something that is very possible, and oil has very direct negative effects on the ecosystems that the oil spills happen around. Like fish cannot consume oil or they can die, as well as other marine life. You also have the agricultural industry that creates water pollution by fertilizers and pesticides running into streams and lakes and ponds through runoff. So these farmers need to recognize how the pesticides and fertilizers are being washed away through natural rain. And last, we have the industries and companies that are dumping wastewater back into public sources of water without being completely cleaned. And HelpSaveNature.com, in their article Causes and Effects of Industrial Water Pollution You Never Noticed, posted in 2020, they state industries basically try to avoid the high cost of modern or sophisticated technology by using outdated technology, which are less efficient. And so with these technologies and these industries are trying to find ways to clean these waters, but they're not always doing it the most efficient way. Sometimes they get too worried about money. And this is something that has really negative effects that these industries and manufacturers don't always think about. They try, most of the time they're working based off of money, and they say, all right, what's the most efficient way that we can keep money coming in without spending a whole lot to get the job done? And so that's where they're making a mistake they are hurting human population by focusing too much on money. So what can we do to help stop water pollution? A big thing is that most governments have laws against pollution, but they don't enforce it too strictly. So the first thing would be governments strictly enforcing pollution laws. Another thing is helping industries to focus more and make sure and fine-tune their wastewater management and make sure things are running right. Sonia Madan, in her article, 5 Awesome Solutions to Water Pollution, posted to earthclips.com, states, treatment processes have been perfected through well-engineered operating systems. However, these systems only clean about 90% of sewage pollutant load. So it's important that these companies and these industries really work to fine-tune and get 100% of this and not just 90, because 10% ends up making a lot when you think about how much sewage and wastewater is used every single year by these companies and industries. And now we get into more of what we can do individually. Individually, there are numerous things you can do to stop pollution. If you see trash or litter on the ground, go pick it up and make sure it gets to a trash can or a recycling bin. Another thing is making sure that you're not wasting water and you're using water for the right things. Christina Nunez, who covers energy expenditure for National Geographic, in her National Geographic article, Water Pollution is a Rising Global Crisis, she states that anyone can help protect watersheds by disposing of motor oils, paints, and other toxic products properly away from drains. And this is big because these drains usually flow into rivers or into certain water beds. And when you have, let's say you're washing your car. If you're washing your car, these soaps, they might run into this drain. Those are chemicals that eventually ecosystems and animals can consume, which can kill them. Another thing is if you have water that's running, and if you have a storm and you notice a storm's coming and you notice how the rain, how it washes off your property. If it's washing over your pavement, you need to find a way to try and fix that. Because as the water is going over that pavement, it's eroding that pavement and it's taking some of those chunks of pavement into the drains and into the water systems. And water pollution is something that is very serious and it's something that we need to fix. The rates of water pollution have only been going up. Right now, this is the only world that we have in the world, and our world is made of 70% water. We need to protect this water so that we can have clean drinking water for years to come. The importance of water pollution cannot be stressed enough. Help make a change.